morning, YouTube, Facebook. How you doing? I am Kendrick, the sports guy, and you know what time it is. It is time to talk a little sport. I'm the hostess with the mostest, Kendrick, the sports guy. Hope you all are having a good weekend. It's been a little bit chilly here in Texas. Had some snow in the DF-Dub. I'm actually in East Texas in Tyler. We just had some cold weather and just some rain. We didn't really get much of the snow today. And we're talking NFL Wild Card Weekend. But before we get to that, make sure you come in, make sure you comment, hit that like button, smash that like button. Let me know where you're watching from. And again, if you come in the Club Kendrick, you got to let me know where you're watching from. Don't be hiding in no bushes because we want to chat. We want you to converse with it. Tim says he's in Texas. You're in Texas too as well. I got it, Tim. Hopefully you're doing well. So again, without further ado, I'm going to bring in my good brother. You know who he is. He is the general manager of Club Kendrick. He is also the sports director at KOTV, the ABC affiliate in Tyler, Texas. My good brother, Michael Coleman, how you doing this Sunday morning?
Hey, man, happy Wild Card Weekend, man. This is a day that's loaded, dude. It's going to be a good weekend.
Yeah, it is loaded, and it got started last night. And we're going to jump right into this thing, Mike. But before we do that, we got some breaking news. Just broke about 30, 45 minutes ago.
I'm just reading about
got a new head coach.
Yeah.
It's no surprise to me. I called this when it went down. I said, don't be surprised if Mike Vrabel becomes the next New England Patriots head coach. And lo and behold, Stevie Wonder saw this coming. I knew it was going to happen. Mike, what's your thoughts on Vrabel?
Well, like I said, before we just came on, I'm reading stuff. It's okay. They got Vrabel. He's a good coach. I just don't like the way it went down. But it's business. That's the way they operate. I think he'll turn them around. I don't know what he's going to do with the quarterback in terms of who's going to develop the quarterback. That's the one pothole I think he has to deal with. He doesn't have an established quarterback. I know the young kid may, but who is he going to get to work with him? But I think it's a good choice. I mean, like I said, granted, Gerard Mayo, he got kicked out, and I think the organization, not him, the organization jumped the gun on putting him in that spotlight. Because if you're offered a head coaching job, who's going to say no? If you've never done it before,
right? Yeah,
and they betrayed him.
Right.
And so it's unfortunate how it went down.
Yeah.
Hopefully he lands someplace.
Yeah.
They set him up for failure. But and the thing is, how do you follow a Bill Belichick, right? Usually it's that second or third coach after the legend leaves that has success. But we'll see. Like I said, I think Vrabel. It's not a controversial hire or bringing back to the organization. I know his last 2 years when he was a player, he was on the Chiefs. So he was on the team at that time when I was there.
Right.
And so hey, well, one down, 5 to go?
5 to go. So, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about that in a couple of more segments. But I wanted to get that off the top since that just broke. I want to thank my niece over here on TikTok that's watching her uncle. Yeah, your uncle's trying to do something over here. Somebody said that we're gonna lose today talking about my Packers, but I got to get this out the way. Y'all know what I'm saying. It's always a great day to be what? A Green Bay Packer fan. So I had to go ahead and get that out the way right there and there. So Mike, let me talk about what I did last week as far as my Week 18 picks. I went 5-1 last week, the last regular season of the NFL season. And for my season, I was 71-37 for the season. So I did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I know, man. The sun shines on the dog ass every now and then, as they say.
Okay, Rover.
Football. He said, football asked me on TikTok, what was your one loss? My one game I missed was the Panthers at the Falcons. That's the one. I picked the Falcons to win. and the Panthers
Okay.
actually won that. Yeah. So let's talk about last night, Mike. Let's get to last night, recapping the Texans and the Chargers. I actually picked the Texans to lose this game, 27-20. The Texans jumped. The Chargers missed a whole bunch of opportunities in this game. They went up 6-0, and then Justin Herbert just started throwing the football to the other team. And the Texans just they defense they just tighten up. What was your thoughts on the Texans and Chargers game last night?
Everybody picked the Texans to lose. I mean, they were the underdogs in the NRG Stadium. And I was working, but I was listening on my pods. But the defense kept them in the game. The Texans defense kept them in the game to the point where the offense realized and figured it out. And I've been hearing for years how Justin Herbert is the guy. He's this, he's that, and he still ain't nothing. As far as I'm concerned, he might have numbers, but he don't have no wins. Wasn't it them against Jacksonville last year that fell flat in the playoffs?
Yeah.
With the coach they fired. Yeah, with the coach they fired.
Right.
And so no, I think it was a good win. 32-12, I believe. They had, the thing about Houston is they believe in their coach. And from what all accounts, when I was hearing on the radio, in the radio in my ear, they was not giving up, talking about the defense of the Texans. They weren't giving up touchdowns. They were giving up threes, but they were not giving up touchdowns. They were in that game 6-0. You'd have thought the way they were moving up and down the field, it should have been like a 17-0 game at half.
Exactly.
But it was 7. I think it was 7. Was it 7-6 or 13? What was the score at half?
It was 10-6, I believe, at the half.
10-6.
Yeah.
And then once Bryce, got rid of whatever was in him, and the team came together collectively, it was all she wrote. Because once they took the lead, they didn't lose that lead. And then the 4 picks, the 4 picks, I picked 6, I blocked extra point going the other direction, 80, however many yards it was.
Right.
Yeah, for 2. I mean, they rolled yesterday. So they look better in the first round this year compared to last year. They're more dominant yesterday.
Well, they look pretty good last year too, Mike, because they handled the Browns. People forget the Texans opened up. Yeah,
that was the first round, right? That was the first round.
That was first round. Yeah,
okay.
And they manhandled them last year. So I agree with everything you said. Again, this is the second straight year the Texans have won in their first round playoff. Again, Justin Herbert, you brought that up, and I think a lot of people feel the same way you said. Everybody screams that he's that dude, but he's not really that dude.
He's not.
I get it. As far as the Texans, I just think they need to ride Joe Mixon, man, and that's not taking nothing away from C.J. Stroud. But they need to ride that run game just because I think their offensive line is still a little shaky. I think C.J. Stroud is taking too many hits. As far as, Nico Collins had a great game yesterday. But, they down a couple of weapons too. So I think they need to ride Joe Mixon yesterday a little bit more moving forward. Again, like you said, DeMeco Ryans, I think, we always hear this, a team takes their coach's personality. And I think if you look at the Texans, they have DeMeco Ryans, that personality. They don't mind getting dirty and playing ugly football, especially defensively. And I think that's the key to this team moving forward. Now, will this move them out of the divisional round? I think this is it for them. No matter who they play next, I think the clock is going to strike 12 next week. I don't know who they're going to be playing. I think it's either Kansas City or Baltimore. I don't know.
Right. I think that's. I was trying to figure that out too. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So we'll see what that. Speaking of the dynamic duo, we got to talk about that Saturday night game, Ravens and the Steelers. And boy, I will say this, Mike. I have been reading stuff where a lot of people they say the noise is getting a little loud now in Pittsburgh, as far as Mike Tomlin. But the Ravens, I'm sorry. I don't care who would have played against that Ravens yesterday. They weren't stopping. They weren't stopping Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. It wasn't gonna happen. What was your thoughts on that game last night?
You're right, because the calling card for the Steelers is their defense.
Yeah.
And they just took that calling card and ripped it up and threw it in the trash, man. There was one play, I think the score that made it 14-0. They should have had Lamar sacked 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And he maneuvered, stepped into the pocket. Yeah. Once he got away, touchdown. As for Tomlin, we all love Tomlin. He's a very popular guy. And I had said 2 years ago, maybe a change of scenery. And that was 2 years ago. And seeing how nothing's changed, maybe, it's like Andy Reid. Before Andy Reid came to Kansas City, he was kind of like a Mike Tomlin. Except he was getting to the Super Bowl, he was falling short because he never won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. And I remember I was I was in KC at the time, but I went to Austin on vacation and I was checking into my hotel room and I had a Chiefs shirt on. And this guy who was checking in also, he saw my shirt. He said, "Oh, so are you a Chiefs fan?" I said, "Yeah, I'm here on vacation from Kansas City." He said, "Well, I know you guys just hired Andy Reid." He said, "But trust me, in 3 years, you're going to be tired of him, just like we were, and you're going to be wanting a new head coach." Dude, that was 7 years ago. That was 3 Super Bowl victories ago.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And so I think a change of scenery is going to do him some good. I just, they're not going to do that though. I mean, that's one thing about the Steelers organization.
Yeah, they're loyal.
I mean, Bill Cowher went through it. Bill Cowher went through the same thing. But I think it's time to go. But it's not time for him to quit coaching. Somebody, I've heard Chicago Bears being attached to his name. That'd be a good shot for him.
Maybe it may be. Yeah, maybe you got a young quarterback there. You got a couple of, you got some pieces there. So yeah. I think so. The thing was the Ravens outrushed the Steelers 299 yards to 29. That's the most yards the Steelers defense have allowed in a playoff game in team history. They gave up 299 yards. Again, Derrick Henry, 26 carries, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, he was solid, 16 for 21, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, 15 carries, 81 yards. And I want to mention this guy's name. I'm talking to Michael Coleman. He's a KOTV sports director, ABC affiliate in Tyler, Texas. If you want to see us together, you got to check me out on YouTube. Go to TFG Sports Media on YouTube or on Facebook, and you can see us live over there. Todd Monken, the second-year offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. I would say that he called a masterpiece of a game on last night. Would you say, Mike?
Yeah. Oh, hands down, man. I mean, Lamar's throws, you sprinkle in the bruiser, because it takes more than 2 people to bring that cat down. Derrick Henry is the king. Right. So yeah, he called a master class game yesterday. And now of course I was working, and so I was on the air, and I had I didn't have Prime or whatever it was on the station, but that's how it was 28-14. I said, oh, they about to melt down. But no, it's we did enough. We did all we have to do. But you're right. He called a heck of a game, man, yesterday, and that's why they moved on. So the Steelers end their season with 5 straight losses and have lost 6 consecutive playoff games. Again, that doesn't sound good for Mike Tomlin. But again, as Michael said, the Steelers organization, they are used to stability. They don't really get rid of head coaches. Most of the time, the head coaches kind of retire. Yeah. Josiah W. says, Eagles are only losing to the Vikings or Lions. So you already saying y'all beating the Packers. We're going to talk about that here in a minute, Josiah. Rita said, go Eagles. I see you, Rita. We're going to talk about that here in a second. Now, let's get to these today games previewing. Let's start with the first game, Mike. Buffalo Bills hosting the Denver Broncos. I kind of forgot about Von Miller with the Bills. He's actually going against the team that he won his first Super Bowl with. I totally forgot about that. The Bills, 6th consecutive postseason appearance. This is the Broncos' first playoff appearance since 2015. What's your thoughts on this matchup? Broncos, the 7th seed at the number 2 seed Bills. Mike? First of all, Von Miller is still playing. I mean, man, oh
I
man, wasn't he
know,
playing?
right?
He's been playing since 1982. It seems like he's just around.
I know, right? Yeah,
But
yeah.
well, there are those who give the Denver Broncos a chance, and I'm like, huh? Yeah,
Mm,
because of the rookies. See, again, the rookies having a good year, but to give these
right,
guys a whole lot of credit when they go into a big game, and be careful what you do because you ruin the psyche of a rookie throwing a bunch on him. I think it's
right,
going. I got Buffalo, and we'll talk more about the scores later. But I think it's a good matchup. I think it gives Denver a chance to see just how far or how close they are playing a team like Buffalo. I think it's going to be a good game, but Buffalo and Josh Allen. Stop Josh
right.
Allen. That's what you got to
Yeah,
do. Stop
yeah,
JA. Go from there.
right. And the Broncos defense is nothing to sneeze at. They led the NFL in sacks with 63. But the Bills offensive line gave up the least sacks. They only gave up 14. So that offensive line and defensive line matchup was going to be interesting to watch. Again, young Bo Nix. What will he do up in there in Buffalo with that weather? And I'll be honest with you, I want to see the Broncos lose. Only reason because I don't like Sean Payton. I
I
ain't
know
like the way he. I ain't.
you
Yeah,
have both in that camp. We're
I
both
ain't
in
like
that
the way
camp.
he did Russell Wilson. So I
Yeah.
hope the Broncos lose. I do.
And,
So I'm
and well,
I'm rooting for the Bills, Rita. Yeah, Bills
well,
easily. Hopefully, we'll see. Go ahead, Mike.
here's what they're gonna find out today. The Denver, they ain't playing no backups. All
Mhm.
right, they played backups last week in Kansas City. And won
Right,
38-0, and you'd have thought they'd won the Super Bowl the way they were acting. Let's see
right.
what you got. Let's see what you got against the first a team that's playing all their starters. Let's see what you got, and then we can talk about the kind of season you're going to have. But no, it could get ugly for Denver. It really, really could.
Yeah, it could. So that's the first game. Noon kickoff on CBS. Hey, what's up, Jonathan Estrada? How's it going, man? Texans played great. Yep, Texans did. They played great on last night. Another Vikings will be whipped up on by Rams. We're gonna talk about that matchup too, and some seriousness about that as well. Now let's get to my Packers. Everybody, you want to hear what I got to say? Yeah, I'm getting ready to tell you now what I'm about to say. Packers 11-6, the number 7 seed at the number 2 seed. The Eagles 14-3. That is the 3:30 game on Fox. Just some injury updates. The Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, he came back to practice on Wednesday, so he passed concussion protocol. So people said he's looked pretty solid during those practices. And Jordan Love, Packers quarterback, he has that elbow issue. He's not listed on the injury report, but that's gonna be an issue in this game. He's not 100%. Mike, what's your thoughts on number 7 seed Packers at the number 2 seed Eagles in Philly?
I do have a concern that Hurts hasn't played. He's missed a couple of games, I think.
Yeah,
You
he missed
know,
the last 2 weeks. Yeah,
last 2 weeks. So I do have concern about that because this is a step level above the regular season. This is for all the marbles, and it's not like, okay, you lose, we come back next week and get them. Yeah, you can't do that. You just cannot do that. So I'm concerned about the health of Jalen Hurts, the timing, and I know you just said he looked good in practice, but they don't go full speed in practice in terms of what compared to what's going to happen today.
right.
Um, but I think the physicality of the Eagles, I think, is going to wear down the Packers. And and then Jordan Love, he's an alien quarterback. I mean, if I'm the defense, I'm coming after Love, knowing that he's got an injury situation that's healing. But you got to hope that offensive line does their job today. If you're Love.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're going to have our hands full defensively with the Eagles, obviously with Saquon Barkley, the 2,000-yard man. He's in the
Yeah.
zone. The Eagles actually have won 10 straight games, even without Jalen Hurts. They are 4.5 point favorites in this game. And also our Packers backup. I just saw this morning, Malik Willis. What you talking about, Willis? He has a right
Yeah.
thumb injury that he hurt versus the
Oh,
Bears. Yeah, so on his throwing hand, so he's not 100%. So my thing is, if we got to lean on our run game, Josh Jacobs,
yeah. Yeah.
we gotta saddle him up and pretty much lean on that run game versus that Eagles rush defense. So that's the thing I see happening with that. This is going to be a tough one, man. We're going to give our scores. I think my Packers going to have a handful, but guess what? They were a number 7 seed last year. Guess what the Packers did? They went into Lambeau Field South, as I call it, and put a thumping on them damn Cowboys. So don't think a number 7 seed can't come in and do it, because we did it last year. So Brian says Eagles going to win. The Packers just saying can't handle their firepower flat out. I hear you, Brian, but and I get it. I can see that the matchups doesn't look good for the Packers, but again, you still got to play the game.
That's true.
We're gonna see what happens in this. We're gonna give our scores here in just a second after we talk about the third game on today. The Commanders 12-5 at the Buccaneers 10-7. This is a matchup of the NFL's top 5 scoring offenses. Both of these offenses can put up points. The Commanders have won 5 in a row, but these two they've met. They've met earlier in the season when the Bucs won 37-20. That was in week 1. And oh, by the way, the Packers and Eagles are meeting again too. I forgot they met on a Friday night earlier in the season. Mike, who you think? What you got? And what you think about this Commanders Buccaneers matchup?
I think the Commanders are in pretty good shape, and they're playing the right team. I mean, you know what? Baker Mayfield's grown on me because he's got that. He's come back from being kicked out, and I like Baker Mayfield, but I just think the exuberance of young Daniels and the coaching of Dan Quinn and all that comes with those Commanders, I think they're going to have to take care of their business because they're an exciting team to watch. You know, they're, to me, the Buccaneers, when I think about them losing to Dallas weeks ago, they were kind of pedestrian,
right?
You know, just you know, they kept waiting to get the job done, but it didn't happen. The thing about the Commanders, to me, I think the key for them is to come out strong and fast early. But then by the same token, on the flip side, if they got to come from behind, they got the weapons to do it.
They got the weapons to do it. Yeah. And I did read the only concern, I think one of their weapons is questionable. Jamison Crowder, I think, is questionable, but I'm sure he's going to play. You're right. They got the weapons to do it. The young cat at the quarterback position, Jaden Daniels, has shown that he is ice cold.
Oh, yeah.
Come back and bring it back. So I think this is going to be a shootout. I think this game right here is going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be entertaining. Also, another matchup to watch in this game, cornerback Marshawn Lattimore with the Commanders versus the Buccaneers wide receiver Mike Evans. If you don't know, those two do not get along. They have had quite the matchups. They have had some suspensions because they would throw hands. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. Keep your eye on, because Marshawn Lattimore most likely is going to cover him pretty much the whole game. So make sure you keep an eye out on that. Degenerate Gambler says, all right, Kendrick, let's go, Packers. Let's go. You're right. Rampart Maine says, go, Pack, go. Thank you. We're going to see what we do. So, again, I think this game is going to be a shootout. And, oh, by the way, I got to give a shout-out to Mike Evans. He had his 11th season of 1,000 yards receiving. That tied Hall of Famer Jerry Rice's record. And, oh, by the way, he also got a cool $3 million bonus for hitting that 1,000-yard mark again. So, hey, salute to Mike Evans, straight out of Texas A&M. So, shout out to him. Now, let's go to the Monday night game. Jonathan Estrada says 24-21 Packers upset. I hear you, Jonathan. David says, I think Detroit losing they shootout because of their okay. Well, Detroit, they sit at home, David. We're going to see who they play next. Jonathan has 28-31. He got the Bucs winning 31-28. Let's talk about the last game on Monday night, the matchup between the Vikings and the Rams. Obviously, there's been a lot going on outside of football when we're talking about this matchup. The wildfires that's taken over LA County, man, and it's just been devastating. Both the Rams and the Chargers as well. They both actually cut their practices short on Wednesday. What was going on. The Rams have had to kind of deal with that. And now the game is being played in Arizona. So if you didn't know, on Monday night. Mike, what's your thoughts on this Vikings Wild game, this Vikings Rams game? You know, considering all the stuff that they've been having to deal with those wildfires.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's that's another chapter for the Rams to have to deal with. The game's been moved to Arizona, Glendale, Arizona. You know, think about the Rams are sneaky good. You know,
they are. You're right.
Nothing really pops out like they used to with Aaron Donalds and all that, but they're a good team. And I think now Sam Darnold needs to acquit himself from the last game because he was terrible. That's the Sam Darnold I know. All right, that's the one who had a breakdown a week ago against the Lions. But I think McVay, now he gets a lot of hype, but he's a good coach.
He's a good coach. I agree.
I do like McVay. But they found something, man. And if the Vikings aren't careful, they could be in a whole lot of trouble. And I know Rhodes. I don't the defensive coordinator. I always forget his name. What's his name? Rhodes.
Brian Flores.
Brian Flores. I don't know why we're coming.
Yeah.
Brian Flores. I've heard his name attached to a possibility of getting a head coaching job because of what he's been able to do up to this point with Minnesota. But I just think that it's going to be a chess match between Flores and McVay or whoever calls the plays on offense. But I give the savvy edge to Flores because in defense you can try some things. Defensive coaches tend to if something doesn't work out, they don't wait to make adjustments at halftime.
Right, they adjust on the fly.
They adjust on the fly, and I think that's what Flores has in him. So I think it's going to be a better game than people think, and I think Sam Darnold, he's got an X on his back because what he did last week ain't going to be nothing compared to what the Rams, what Flores and his guys. I mean, what the Rams could do with him. Again, sneaky good. That's the Rams.
Yeah. I think Darnold will play better. I think this last week is just one of those games, and you have he had it at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Jason Kasdorf says, I'm a Vikings fan, but I'm rooting for the Packers today. Appreciate the love, Jason. Jonathan Estrada, he asked, you heard, Mike Vrabel, new head coach. Yep, we talked about that off the top. Jonathan, we heard that he is the new head coach. By the way, these two teams met earlier in the season too, Mike. The Rams got the win 30-20 in week 8. And so, the Vikings only got 3 losses, and one of them came to the Rams. But by the way, the Rams are the lowest scoring offense in the playoffs. They only scored 21.6 points.
So it's going to be key
for
it's going to be key for them to try to keep it low scoring so they can hang around.
Right, so they can hang around. Yeah, because we know that offense with Justin Jefferson and Darnold and Aaron Jones. They can put up, and I think T.J. Hockenson, the tight end, they can put up some points. Jonathan says he thinks the Rams can win. You know what? I don't know. I think they sneaky good, but I think this is it. So since we're there, let's go ahead and get to our picks, Mike. Let's go ahead and get to our wild card picks since we already there. Let's start with the early game. Let's start with the Bills, number 2 seed, hosting the Broncos. Who you got, Mike?
Bills score? And Broncos. What's the score? What's the weather like in Buffalo? Do we know?
I think it's cold, but I don't think it's nothing crazy. It's not like nothing snowy or nothing like that.
And it's not like Denver don't know how to play in cold weather because it's Denver.
Right.
I'm going to go 27 because the other thing, these teams, they play cautiously in the postseason. They think twice before they make a move. But I'm going to give the game to the Buffalo Bills. I'll make it 27-10 over Denver.
Okay, Mike going 27-10 with the Bills getting the win. My man over here, Jonathan, is going with almost the same score as you, Mike. He's went 28-10. Jonathan over here on TikTok, he's going to Bills as well. Let's make it the trifecta. I'm going to Bills as well. Bills 28-16. All right, my game, the middle game on Fox, 3:30 p.m. Number 7 seeded Packers, 11-6 at the number 2 Eagles, 14-3. Mike, who you going with?
All right, Packers, Eagles. Well, although I do have concern about Hurts. Who's their
Hmm.
back? Oh, you so who's their backup at
Kenny
QB?
Pickett, and he's got some ribs. His ribs is a little tender.
Ooh, well, okay. I'm gonna go with the lesser of the evils from the injuries. I'm gonna go with Philadelphia because they've been
Okay.
riding so high. Um, I think Green Bay needs to prepare to bring in whoever's going to back up Love because I don't know if he's going to be able to. Don't we don't know the severity of the injury or not or whatnot, but we know they talked about
Right.
it. I'm going to go. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game here. I'm gonna go. I'm
Hmm.
gonna go 17-10 Eagles.
Okay, Mike going 17-10 Eagles. My guy over here in TikTok, Alex, is going Eagles 28-24. Yep, Alex, Jalen Hurts is playing. We talked about that off the top. And I know again, I'm a fan. I'm a homer. I'm a Packers fan, but just looking at it from a football perspective, I think it's going to be a tough road for us today. I think it is. And as much as it pains me to say this, I'm picking the Eagles to win this thing 27-21. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park for the Eagles, but I think we're going to hang tough. But I think we're going to come up just a little short. All right, Mike. Number 6 seed Commanders 12-5 at the number 3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers 10-7. I think this might be the highest scoring game out of all of them, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Who you got?
Well, no, this could be a shootout to this extent, only because I like the kid. I mean, he's the kid. I just like everything about
Right.
this guy, man. Even when he's not playing in the game, you just watch his exuberance and his post game conferences. This kid is he's a smart cat. Um,
Yeah.
and I think sometimes I think Baker Mayfield will try to force a play. He's gonna try to will it, and I think because of that. And I think because of the Dan Quinn way of playing, I'm gonna go with the Commanders. I got them winning 31-24. 31-24 Commanders.
Mike got the Commanders getting the W, going into Tampa Bay and winning 31-24. My guy Kevin Rosenberg on TikTok has the Commanders 28-23. Jonathan Estrada got the Buccaneers 31-24. And I'm rolling with the kid, Jaden Daniels. I'm rolling with him too, and the Commanders and Dan Quinn in that defense. I think they're gonna have to tighten up their run defense a little bit. And I
Yeah.
will
Oh
win it.
yeah.
I
Oh
think it's
yeah.
gonna be close, 24-21. I'm going with the Commanders on that. Now for the Monday night matchup, number 5 seed Vikings 14-3 at the number 4 seed LA Rams 10-7. Mike, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I'm gonna go with them struggling
Okay.
early, but eventually being able to pull away a little bit. I'm gonna go 27-13. 27-13 Vikings.
Mike is going 27-13 with Minnesota Vikings. I am picking the Vikings too, as much as it pains me to pick my NFC North rival. But again, it is what it is. I think they will outlast the Rams 30-21. That is my score for that.
Okay.
So those are our picks for the wild card weekend. Now the Lions and the Chiefs, they sitting at home waiting. They chilling. So they get to suit them up next weekend. All right, Mike, let's move on to our next segment. News and notes from around the league. We already talked about Mike Vrabel. He's going to be the new head coach
Yeah.
in New England. Well,
Right.
I just saw something that came through, Mike, just a minute ago. Did you see it?
Now go
About
ahead.
Tom Brady.
Is he leaving Fox?
It's being reported that Tom Brady he's leaving Fox. It's
Okay.
being reported that Tom Brady is leaving Fox.
Well, you saw that note I sent you
Go ahead,
yesterday. I
Mike.
guess that note I sent you yesterday because I
Right,
started seeing,
right.
I was
Yeah,
seeing
I
that
did.
conversation. I was seeing that conversation pick up. I'm like, oh shoot, let me let Kendrick know about this. You already probably knew, but
Yeah.
I, I don't think I don't have an opinion on how well he was as a commentator. Is a commentator. I mean, I don't know what people's criteria is to be so-called a good commentator in the booth. I don't. I mean, they all sound the same to me for the most part.
Right.
Um, I, I know he got a lot of criticism, and you know, and maybe that's just not for him. But it makes a whole lot of sense what you're telling me that he's going to do, because that's where he belongs. He don't belong upstairs in the booth. He belongs getting his hands dirty with an NFL team, because that's what he is. He's a football player, and so I think that's a good move. I think he needed Fox. I think Fox needed him more than he needed Fox.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. He didn't need.
I mean, it
Fox.
wasn't like
he didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, here's how desperate they were. They signed him on this deal when he was still playing.
Yeah,
you know?
he played another year, I believe, before he
came in. Yeah.
Right.
And maybe he just wasn't feeling it. I mean, he's got a boatload of information and a boatload of experience. I think it's going to be better suited being with the Raiders, because his role is going to explode. If he's leaving Fox, he's just not leaving to be a whatever percentage holder he is of the team. He's going to have his hands on a lot of stuff with the Raiders because of the position he's in. And you know, there's a Deion Sanders thing going on out there. I don't know. I know they have their eye on Carroll, Coach Carroll. They have their eye on, but
I think he's interviewed already. Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a Tom Brady thing or not. You know, that might be somebody else. It might be Mark Davis, the owner, the big owner. But I think that's a good move. It's a good move for him to leave the booth and go be in the action.
So we're going to see what happens. I got a hot take over here on TikTok. He says, I think if the Texans play on defense like they played yesterday, they can beat the Chiefs. You hear that, Mike? Somebody.
And he's right. No, he's right. That Will Anderson. Will Anderson was all over the field yesterday. And I had that thought in the back of my mind. I said, well, dang, this defense is really knocking things out. So, yeah, I can go with that, but it ain't going to happen.
It ain't gonna happen. Jay Thunder says the Pack is cooked today, which is too bad because I would love for the Lions to beat them again. All right, man, we're gonna see if we cooked. We're gonna see how cooked are we gonna be, Jay? We're gonna be well done, medium rare, or whatever. How are we gonna be cooked, Jay? I'd like to know your answer to that. Also, I had somebody else up here saying that how does it feel for the Packers to lose to the Bears and Caleb Williams go undefeated, get his rookie win? I don't know. But, hey, that game didn't mean anything, that last game for us. But we shouldn't have played our starters because we got a couple of people hurt. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. All right, Mike, to another news and notes from around the league. You and I talked about this a while back. Actually, we talked about this young man a couple of times. Deshaun Watson. He injures that right Achilles again. Tyler Coleman said he named his daughter Edgerrin Cooper yesterday. That's hilarious. Well, congratulations. If y'all don't know, Edgerrin Cooper is the stud rookie linebacker we got for the Packers. That's awesome, Tyler. Congratulations to you. I don't know how you were able to talk your wife into doing that, so you got to give me some secrets on that. But anyway, congratulations. But back to Deshaun Watson. Again, he injures that right Achilles in rehab. Most likely his 2025 season won't happen. This is just another chapter to this young fella's story, Mike. You think he's done? You think his career is pretty much over?
Yeah, he's got to be done. I mean, there have been several. It's like for instance, Kirk Cousins. He's another Achilles injury away from finishing his career, right? I know he's not injured. I'm just saying he came back from that and had a pretty good season up until he got benched. And we've seen too many athletes have this Achilles, and he's had more than his fair share of the injury, the same injury. And playing the position he plays, I'd like to think part of the reason that he could not continue the success he had when he was in Houston, maybe it's because of the Achilles ready to be ruptured. And he's the rehab, because it happened during rehab, the re-injury.
Right.
I think his career is over. And even if he does get that thing fixed, A, who knows for how long, and B, the albatross of that contract that he got. So I'm glad you brought that contract up, because the Browns were ahead of the game on this. A couple of weeks ago, they reworked his deal.
Matter of fact, he's owed $46 million this season and next season, but they reworked his deal where they will get some sort of cap relief over the next 2 seasons because of the reworking of his deal. And also, they took out an insurance policy on him just in case of him getting hurt.
Okay.
They will that will soften the blow of those what's remained of that 2 years on that 5-year deal. So they've set themselves up, I guess, financially to kind of take this hit. And also, they got the number 2 draft pick in this upcoming NFL draft.
Right.
So the Browns are probably going to be picking a quarterback. Obviously, Jameis Winston is a unrestricted free agent, so he probably won't be back. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I think, is an unrestricted free agent who's a backup. And then they got the kid, the Zappy kid, Blaine Zappy or whatever his name. He's an unrestricted free agent anyway. So the Browns
he's a former Earl Campbell winner.
Or he was was he? Okay, that's what's up. So again, I just, unfortunately, this happens in sports, but just this guys, just think about what if he wouldn't have got into that, the other extracurricular stuff and the injuries. Because this young man was on the verge of being that dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
John Watson was on the verge of being that dude. And now the injuries have taken over and all that. So, I wish the best for the young brother. I just, you hate to see this happen to athletes, but it's part of the game. Lamar Jackson, MVP Ravens. I agree. I think he is MVP. Now, Mike, let's talk about these head coaching openings, and then we're gonna get to the freestyle segment. We're gonna get out of here. So now the Patriots have already filled theirs. Patriots, they hired Mike Vrabel onto a multi-year contract. That was the breaking news this morning. So we still got the Jaguars opening. They fired Doug Peterson. We got the Raiders opening. They fired Antonio Pierce. We got the Bears opening. They fired Matt Eberflus a few weeks back. Am I missing one? Is somebody else with an opening? The Jets. Yeah, Cowboys. The Jets. The New York Jets.
And the Cowboys are kind of straddling the fence. Cowboys are straddling the fence.
Well, according to Jerry, and I did some. He and Mike McCarthy are working on a contract extension.
Yeah,
I read that. So that's supposed to have something like that next week. But now with the Saints, we got to open in the New Orleans.
Yeah, Saints. New Orleans, right?
Yeah. So, what do you think about these other openings? Which team was probably the most attractive, and which team is it in your opinion?
Shoot. Wow. That's a good question, man. I think the Jets might be, despite not having a for sure at quarterback. They might be. I mean, get the right person, and I think part of that for me is because they're in New York. But their owner is as up and down as the Cowboys owner, Woody Johnson.
Yeah, he's goofy. Yeah, he's goofy. He's a goofy.
He's goofy. He's a goofy dude, man. He's been around forever. He was around from the early days of the. He might be the second owner of the Jets because they were the original AFL teams. I don't think he was there then.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna say the Jets is the best. Because who knows where they're going to land in the draft? They can get somebody.
Okay.
Saints. I'm not really sold on what they got to be the head coach. Who else is looking for a coach?
Right. The Saints, the Raiders, the Bears.
Oh, the Raiders
and Jacksonville. Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's a wash, but I will say this: the Raiders, they're an intriguing team. They're in Vegas because it's like this to me. How you gonna be in Vegas and not win? Right? That's what Vegas is. It's about winning.
It's about winning. Yeah,
it's about winning. And
by gambling, taking gambles.
Right.
Yeah.
And they gambled with Anthony Pierce or with Coach Pierce. They gambled with him, but that didn't work out. But I think with a Tom Brady calling some shots, because let's face it. None of those people on that board of directors or shareholders of the Raiders have any football and knowledge experience like Tom Brady. And if they were smart, they would listen to Tom Brady. He's the football guy. They're not football people. They're just people trying to get a return on their money.
Yeah. Right.
Tom Brady would be. I mean, they need to listen to Tom Brady. And I mean, I'm kind of rooting. I'm rooting more for Tom Brady in this capacity than I am when he was playing, because he was playing my Chiefs. Now, when he plays against the Chiefs, it's a different story. But I don't think it's going to be anybody from Andy Reid's coaching tree or anything like that. It's going to be somebody. They need a. They need an out of this world hire of somebody who is good, not a retread. I know Pete Carroll's interviewed, but Pete, get you Pete Carroll so you can find the guy you want. That's how you do that.
Yeah. Somebody asked Mike, do you Isaac over on TikTok asked us, do you think Broncos have a shot to win this game?
Yeah.
I know.
I think they do. They won't. Because they're gonna make mistakes. Because to me,
go pack. Let's world today. Let's do that. Yeah, we'll see. I think the most. Yeah.
My deal is this: they're gonna make mistakes. The rookie's gonna make mistakes.
Yeah,
they're gonna have a chance.
Coaching openers. Yeah.
They're gonna make mistakes, and they're not gonna be able to capitalize because they're gonna make mistakes.
Right.
Buffalo, this is their 6th straight year in the postseason. They're not gonna make mistakes. They make mistakes against Kansas City. That's who they make their mistakes against. They're not gonna make any mistakes against Denver unless Sean Payton coaches his butt off. That's what we're going to look to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer the head coaching opening question that I posed. I think the most attractive is the Raiders. I think that's the most attractive because I think they got the number 6 pick in the draft. And so I think that is probably the most attractive. I think the most least attractive is a toss up between the Jets and the Jaguars. The Jets. I don't know if I would want to take that gig, especially with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if I would want to take that gig in Jacksonville. That owner too, he's kind of goofy too. So I don't know if those are two places where you can be successful right off the top. Just my opinion on that.
Well, one more thing.
So go ahead.
One more, real quick with the Raiders. Tom Brady has experience with young Shedeur. All right.
Right.
If anybody wants to make a deal when it comes to draft time, you can. Elway proved that. The Manning has proven that. You can make some things happen that haven't happened before in the NFL if you want a particular player. And because there's already been a precedent set, and then you got Tom Brady in the boardroom, and he's worked out with Shedeur, don't be surprised, man. Don't be surprised.
You're right. Don't be surprised. What's up, Tony? What's up? Rooting for the Packers today. Appreciate that. We appreciate that. All right, Mike, let's get to our freestyle moment. This is where you can get anything you want off your chest, Mike. What is on your mind?
I talked about it. It's this Joy Taylor stuff, man. This thing ain't gonna die at all. and did you see what you saw Cam Newton's input, didn't you? Have you seen Cam Newton talk about this?
Yes, I did. I was laughing.
Oh, I was laughing.
I have. And it was hilarious.
Jason Whitlock, come here, guy. You're not that guy. You're not my guy, but you're not that guy. So he's a colorful dude. I like him. He's a colorful dude. And as you and I have talked, this happens everywhere, especially in this business. But I think the unfortunate part is when you see a woman on television, you're gonna be wondering, I wonder. And you might be right and you might be wrong.
Right.
I put it this way. I don't think when Robin Roberts was doing this, that was the case with her. She was good at ESPN. No. Obviously, she's with Good Morning America, carrying the load.
Right.
Lisa Salters, she knows her stuff.
Right. Hannah Storm.
Hannah Storm. I really have a belief they really busted their tail to get to where they are. But I will say this, I may sound chauvinist when I say it, but I don't mean to be, because I got 3 sisters. In fact, I hired I hired the first female sportscaster in Austin, Texas. So I don't think I'm anti-woman. I'm anti can you do the job? And who I hired, she's from out of El Paso. I said, yeah, this is the one. But I'm gonna say this. Um, I just have a hard time watching an all-women sportscast because to me, a sportscast is like a barbershop. The fellas are talking about
Mhm.
what happened on what was whomever, football, baseball, whatever. And I just don't see women
Right.
in the hair salon talking about Jackie Robinson, talking about Reggie Jackson, talking about Randall Cunningham. You got to have a depth of knowledge, depth of history to be able to do all that. Now, you ain't gonna never use it, but I think it lends to the credibility. If you just know what's going on now, I don't think that
Right.
qualifies you. I don't think that qualifies you. You know,
Yeah.
and so I know I'm a sound anti-woman because I love women and I love them in sports, but I want some people that are going to give me some information I can relate to, and not just what's going on now. If you can tie
That's
in some,
not right. Not right.
you know what I'm saying?
No. Right.
Perfect,
Yeah. Know
perfect,
your
perfect,
history. Yeah, I get it.
perfect example. Perfect example. When I was doing those highlights of the Cotton Bowl, I was able to throw out there that Sarkisian was the MVP of the Cotton Bowl back in 1997 with BYU. Now, you got to
Hmm.
know that kind of stuff. Whether you know it through your research or you just remember it, read up on your stuff that you're doing.
Right.
Gain some knowledge so you can share with the fans. Because part of my job is besides being an entertainer, part of my job is to inform and enlighten and give you some relevant points because you remember it.
And
You know,
and
like
and,
you,
di- and different and different perspectives too, and
right?
different
Well,
perspectives. Because
well, it's like
sometimes
you
you know,
just
right.
like when you and
Hmm.
I did that piece on the black quarterback situation years ago with the Cowboys. You know, part of that it happened during our lifetime, and we just found some holes to fill it
Right.
in, and tied in
Hmm.
with the current. So that's the Joy Taylor thing cracks me up because the thing is, ain't nobody talking about the guy grabbing a other girl's butt. Ain't nobody talking about that, you know,
Right.
or allegedly the
No, ain't
boss
nobody talking about
allegedly.
that. Allegedly, yeah, the executive, yeah. Nobody's talking about that. But I get it. You're right, man, and that's why we got to report on it. But I think now people just digging and trying to just now it's
Oh
just
yeah,
gossipy, and I and, and
oh yeah.
and I hate to see gossipy sports talk when you just it's just gossip. That ain't sports talk to me. That's gossip.
You know
Let's
what that
talk
is?
sports again.
This is the P Diddy of sports. Is what this is in terms of sensational information. People,
Yeah,
everybody go, you know, in
yeah.
P Diddy situation,
Just being
everybody
just
said,
being
"Well, you know, I
petty.
remember." Well, why you
Right,
coming out with it now? You know,
right,
so yeah, I'm like you. I don't like gossipy stuff when it comes to sports. Sports is supposed to be take you away from the gossip and the drama, you know. And unfortunately, that's what happens when you start being lax about how you operate your journalism business. And this is what happens, and it's
right,
cat's out the bag. So yeah.
right. Well, here's my freestyle moment, real quick, Mike. Then we're gonna get out of here. I want to thank everybody that's over here on TikTok that's watching me. Go, we got a bunch of Packer fans. I appreciate that. I'm gonna read these names off to you. In the last 10 years, I'm gonna talk about the head coaching in the NFL jobs. Well, in the last 10 years, believe it or not, there have been 11 coaches that have been fired after their first year. Gerard
Oh.
Mayo, Frank Reich, Lovie Smith, Nathaniel Hackett, David Culley, Urban Meyer, Freddie Kitchens, Steve Wilkes, Chip Kelly, Jim Tom Sula, and Antonio Pierce. All 11 of those guys were fired after their first year. And
Black and
here's what
white
my
guys.
freestyle moment on this is. It's actually it's gonna be more whites because there are more white coaches in the league. But by percentage wise, more black head coaches get fired after their first year than whites. Just
Who did
because
Lovey get
percentage
fired
wise,
from?
it's more whites. The Texans, they fired him after only 1 year.
Oh,
Remember?
that's right. That's right. It was because
Yeah.
someone said it was Chicago. I was like, nah, he spent some years in Chicago.
No,
But
no,
you're
it was
right.
the
It's the
Texans.
Texans.
After
It was the Texans.
yeah,
Yes.
it was the Texans. And so my whole thought is remember there's the good old boy networks when it comes to professions and a lot of our professions. It ain't a lot of times what you know is who you know. You feel me?
Yes.
So always
Yeah.
remember that. That's why you saw Mike Vrabel get hired today
Yeah.
by New England. I knew that was coming because you know why? Because it ain't what you know, it's who you know.
It's who you
And
know.
am I saying that's a bad thing? No, I'm not saying that. But that's the way professions roll. So
Well,
either you figure it out or you deal with it at the end of the day. So
well, I'm gonna tell
go
you,
ahead,
and,
Mike.
and you're absolutely right. Because when I was trying to decide my next move, when Kansas City cut me for having too much rhythm,
He
when I was
was
trying
a
to
good
decide my
coach.
and when Kenny Bowles, the late great Kenny Bowles, called me and is talking to me, and he, wanted me to come back here. I said, "Well, do you have an opening?" And he said, "Well, I can have." And I thought, well, this is how it is for
Mhm.
them. They got somebody in their back pocket, and then Kenny Bowles was in my back pocket, and
Right,
but he had history with me, and that and that
right,
that's what precipitated that, But he's the only
right.
that's so I got a taste of that, um, in that situation because I didn't have to send him a resume tape. He knows who I am. He knows what
Right.
I can do, and that's again, it's because he knows me.
And again, right. And that's the he know you. And that's not a bad thing. I don't want people to think I'm saying it's a
No,
bad
no, no,
thing.
no.
It is
You're
good to
right.
have
It's
connections.
exactly no. It
Yeah,
is. It's good to have
right.
connections. It did because it is who you know, and the thing is though, I'll say this: prior to this, for me, every job I got before coming back, I didn't know nobody, and I got it on my
Mhm,
own.
mhm.
All right. So I
Right,
was qualified
right,
elsewhere, whereas somebody else here who knew about me said, "Well, yeah, I know what he can do." But over a period of
right.
time, you build those connections, you build those, and you stay in touch with people,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And so, and of course, the NFL. I mean, let's face it, man. That's one thing though about the NFL. You might know somebody or any professional sport or college sport. You might know somebody, but you better sure darn well do your job once you get your foot in.
Right.
Is
Yeah. Right.
because you're gonna make them look bad. They're
Because
gonna
you'll be
do what's the deal, man? I
yeah,
mean,
you're gonna
I
be out the
got
door.
you. Gonna
You-
be out the door.
yeah,
You got once you get in,
right.
you got to show. You got to show.
You got to show. You got to show. You got it. My man Dom Sparango says, I think I said that right. Vrabel was a really good coach. He actually did have a couple of good seasons in Tennessee. Matter of fact, took him to an AFC Championship game. So yeah, I think he's a good coach. And again, I'm not hating on him getting that job. But again, this just shows you a lot of times it ain't what you know, it's who you know. So that's my thoughts on that. All right, Mike. I'm gonna let you get out of here. Any final
All right,
thoughts?
bud.
Anything you got going on?
No, just
You good?
enjoy what's about to happen. Or just about things about to heat up in the NFL, and
Right.
it's we might have a surprise. Somebody that ain't supposed to be there might get in. We gonna go the next
Well,
week's round, and we'll see. You know, um,
we'll
I
see.
I just feared Kansas City's layoff don't hurt them. That's the only thing
Right.
about having a bye. So we'll see.
We'll see. All right, Mike. You know I always love chopping it up with you,
All right,
brother.
buddy.
We'll
I'll
hopefully
holler at you.
get together next weekend. All right,
All
brother.
right.
Again, that was my good brother Michael Coleman, the sports director at the ABC affiliate in Tyler, Texas, KOTV. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here, but before I go, do I got any Capricorn birthdays in the house? If you got a born day in January, put it in the chat on TikTok. Because guess what? My born day is next Sunday. Yes, that's right. My 56th trip around the sun is next Sunday. So hopefully my Packers can get a win today, and hopefully I can watch them again sometime either on Saturday or Sunday. Actually, next Sunday is my born day. Oh, you're Aquarius, but you work January 21st. So I am January 19th. Again, next Sunday will be my 56th trip around the sun. Now, again, just to advise you here on TikTok, I won't be live next Sunday. Again, it's going to be my born day, but also TikTok may not be around next Sunday because, matter of fact, supposedly next Sunday, TikTok might be going dark. So this might be the last Sunday for us on TikTok. So if you haven't already, make sure you go follow me. Follow me go to YouTube. Go check me out and subscribe to the channel on TFG Sports Media on YouTube, as well as Kendrick Sports Hustle on YouTube. That's SPORTZ HUSTLE. You can follow me on Facebook at Kendrick Sports Hustle, as well as my personal Kendrick Roland Henderson. And you also can follow me on Instagram at Kdrick1969. So again, I won't be here next Sunday because I'll be celebrating my born day. Again, my 56th trip around the sun. If you're a Capricorn in here, I'll give you some love. And if you haven't, again, according to the ruling, we may not have to this time. Make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel Hustle, as well as you can follow me on as well. So again, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm live right now here on YouTube. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you watch this later, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you not next Sunday, but the Sunday after that. Again, next Sunday is my born day, so I won't be here, but I won't do a full Sunday, so we'll see. So again, you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a good week. I am Kendrick the Sports Guy. We will see you on the other side, and on the next report, I am out. Peace.